Let's first start off with the first things that you should know about. Well, when you first create an account, the most important thing is to give your account a name and also set up a login for your account. And it'll say sign up for WBID. You want to click that, and then you want to click sign up using an email. Now, why is this step so important? And it's usually overlooked by everybody who makes a new account. And making a new account just means starting from scratch and going through the tutorial. You need to understand that your account is not linked to a login right away. So if you ever reset your phone or you upgrade to a new phone, you will not have your account transfer over unless you back it up to a WBID, aka a WB Play account. So you basically just type in an email and password and link your account up. This is extremely important because once you do that, your account is linked up to an email and password. So if you ever want to upgrade your phone, or you ever want to reset your phone, delete Mortal Kombat for whatever reason, when you hop back in, you will have everything as long as you log into your email and password again. So definitely link your account up to an email and password right away. That's very important. And by the way, I just want to mention this game is not compatible with iOS and Android. A lot of games are compatible with iOS and Android. What's iOS and Android? iOS is iPhones, iPads, iPods, and Androids are like Samsung, OnePlus, and whatnot. They are not compatible. You cannot transfer your data over. That's usually something that nobody ever tells you, and it might be obvious to some. There's a lot of people who ask me whether they are compatible. So for a new player, just keep that in mind. Alright, now let's get to gameplay stuff. So the first thing people are going to ask is, how do I start earning souls? So souls are the currency right up here, and they have a pretty outrageous price if you look at these soul prices. But trust me, nobody buys from here. Absolutely nobody buys this. I don't know anybody. Maybe back in the day, like for MKX, people might have bought this, but nobody buys this. So just know, no one does this. Don't buy any of these. These are horrible. But now let's talk about, if you're a beginner, what's the first challenges or events you should play? Well, as a beginner, you should start with battle mode. This is the most overlooked one. I will show you, here's what battle mode looks like if you complete it all the way to the end, and you want to just play all the stages of battle mode. It's going to be a little difficult once you get up to the higher stages. Around here, they start to have more health, but completing battle mode gives you free souls, and it's just kind of fun. I like battle mode. It's like the only story mode part of this game, so do battle mode and complete it to max, and that'll get you a lot of souls to start off with. It might take some time, and I really can't guide you through the whole process of completing battle mode. That had to be its own video, but that is the first thing you should start off with is battle mode, because you're going to have at least your bronze characters with a few thousand HP, so you'll be able to make it pretty high up in battle mode and just get some free rewards and souls. Okay, now what do you use those souls on? This is a good question. A lot of people ask me, what do I go for when I'm playing on an account? So I first just got some diamonds on this account through a few packs. So as a beginner, you're just going to have a few bronze characters and maybe a gold or two. And I say you should always just start with golds. Max out all of your golds. It'll take a while, but once you max out your golds, then you can aim for diamonds. You do not want to aim for diamonds straight away. It is not worth it. Diamonds at Fusion Level 1 don't correlate with maxed out gold cards. When you have maxed out golds, it'll be much easier for you to do events and whatnot. But for Fusion Level 1 diamonds, you aren't able to max them out very quickly, and it'll take way too long for you to see the value in wasting your souls on diamond packs to begin with. If you already have your golds maxed, then going for diamonds is good. But anyways, yeah, start with golds, and my favorite golds to get would be Flaming Fist Liu Kang, the Kung Jins, Johnny Cage, Cassie Cage, Convert Ops. She has a very cool passive, which is a 25% chance unblockable for all attacks. Very nice. She's one of the best golds to start off with. You may ask what the best pack to get gold cards are, and the best pack to get gold cards is the gold pack. It'll just be right here. It's 150 souls, and you can open 10 at a time now. It's actually much easier to just do many at a time. This is the best pack to start off with as a beginner. You want to max out all your gold cards, and like I said, it might take a while, but this is where you want to start. So after you get the gold cards from this, then fuse them up as high as possible, and this will help you in battles. Gold packs come with 2 random cards, which could be level ups, and that could help you if you are struggling to level up your cards. Okay, now after getting gold cards, we'll talk about diamonds in a second, but as a beginner, you don't usually worry about diamonds to begin with. So next, what is the best game mode to play as a beginner? Well, we're going to cover one by one. So Dark Queen's Tower. I don't recommend this if you only have like Fusion level 2 golds, and Fusion level is the little level on top of the golds. You see it says 3 there. That's the Fusion level of the card. And if you don't have them very highly fused, I would not do the Dark Queen's Tower. I would just get your gold collection up and fuse them up at least to 7 or 8 before you start doing the Dark Queen's Tower, in my opinion. I have a diamond team here just for gameplay when we demonstrate how to play mostly, but as you can see here, just make it up on the Dark Queen's Tower. And the really good thing about the Dark Queen's Tower, I will show you the rewards you get from it. You can get equipment, and I don't think we have any. Nope, we don't have any, unfortunately, but you can get, yeah, okay, we do have some actually. So you will get equipment like this, the commons and rares. These are extremely useful for fights. The Dark Queen's Tower provides great equipment, rares, commons, and these are commons, by the way, and then the rares are the blue icons. So these are like the defaults. These are the easiest ones to get. So epics are pretty hard to come by, but they might drop if you lose, or if you just play the tower enough, you might get an epic or 2, and it's a lot of value for someone who is a beginner. A lot of people don't say this, but equipments are the best thing to go for. Diamonds are not really the best things to go for in this game. Epic equipments are. Those are the best cards to go for, because equipment can absolutely just change your team up and make them super strong rather than having to fuse them up all the way. Equipment can make your team super strong without even having to fuse up your diamonds or your golds. So I would definitely focus on getting equipments as well. So besides the Dark Queen's Tower, what's the best way to get cards and characters? I would say challenges, of course. Challenges are the best way to progress in this game, because getting a copy of Raiden is just like a no-brainer. And then you get equipment as well. If you do the hard mode, there's normal, hard, and elder. Now, elder is the hardest, and just do every single one that you can. Make it up to maybe elder if you can, or make it up to hard if it's, obviously becoming more difficult. And just unlock the character, and hopefully you can get their equipment. So for the hard one, you will get a copy of the Storm Hat. And you really do want to max out all these side equipments right here. All of these common, or not common, but all these rare side equipments for characters. It's very important as a beginner to do this. So what's the next thing for a beginner to do? Well, first off, I did talk about Dark Queen's Tower, but you should be doing Shao Kahn's Tower first. It's easier, and it actually has more value to you as a beginner rather than the Dark Queen's Tower, because it's too difficult and doesn't give you enough to justify it as a beginner. Okay, so the Shao Kahn Tower, what does it give you? Well, it gives you these little shards, which when Relic Hunt comes around, you can revive Shao Kahn and get a free diamond. Now, Relic Hunt comes every 6 to 8 months, or 3 to 6 months. It depends on what the developers are feeling like. So it's every 3 to 6 months that the game mode will drop. Until then, you cannot get Shao Kahn, though. It is important to understand. Limited events happen all the time, and you have to be on the lookout for these events. Sometimes you just don't have the opportunity to get stuff at a good price. You have to wait. And that is annoying for a lot of people, but that's just how most games work now. There's events all the time. All right, now the Shao Kahn's Tower. Besides relics here at the top with the little relic sign, what else do you get? You get coins and talent. Coins can be spent upgrading characters. For example, if I want to upgrade the specials, you can upgrade it with coins, and you can also use these little special cards, which you can get from packs. Now, what's the next thing you get? You get these things called talents. Now, if I go to home, and I go to talents, you can see here, this is the talent tree. And this is really important for beginners. The talent tree, don't overlook this. Max out everything you can while you're acquiring talents because it'll upgrade your team with abilities. Now you can choose the best talents, and I might make a video separately on what talents. The major issue with talents for a beginner is that if you do get 100 talent points and you set up a talent tree, which I'll show you what that looks like. So that's an example of a talent tree. Now if you set it all up, to reset your talents, you have to spend souls at some point, and that is not value for a beginner to spend souls to have to refresh their talent. So we're waiting for presets, and maybe by the time this video is being watched by you, the presets already might be a thing, but right now presets don't exist, and it's not worth it to refresh souls to have to edit your talent tree. That's not good. I don't know why it's like that. I don't like that. So I would set up a talent tree that you would think would go for most things, and then just leave it at that, unless you have a lot of souls to spend. So the first talent to start off with is Horse Dance, because you get power generation boost. And I think this is a very general thing that will help your team when you first start out. If you just get a couple of talents, this is something you probably want to max out first. And then also start with something like blocked attacks do 2% more damage. General upgrades that really can't hurt to add on. So resistance to debuffs and also basic attack less damage. Alright, so what's the next way for beginners to get souls easily and fast? I would say quest mode is the best thing for beginners to start with, and let's go to quests. Now I skipped to Tower 3. This would take you about a day's worth of time to do as a beginner when you first download the game. And the reason why I skipped it is so I can show you some of the options, because starting from 0, I would just have to skip with souls eventually, so it's not really worth it if I want to just show you on camera. So as you can see here, the best ways, like you can get 20 souls here, and it's really not even that hard. You just throw a, I'd say just like a random gold in here with a 50% bonus, and he already fills up so much, and then you just throw maybe 1 diamond in there, and maybe you don't even have to. You can maybe just throw another silver or whatnot, and you can get 100% without even having to use fusion like 10 diamonds or fusion 10 golds. You can just use characters that have good bonuses. This is really important for quests where you don't have high fusioned cards, but you want to be able to get that 100% chance of success. So use bonuses to your advantage. So this is a 8-hour quest, and when you first start the game, you really can't complain. You just got to take any quest you can get when you first start. Now, when we start to unlock later stages, I will show you what that looks like, but for now, we're on the early stages. So on the early stages, there's not as much value. This is a 1-hour quest, and I actually do recommend, if you're going to be playing all day long on Mortal Kombat, do 1-hour quests. For reference, 7 souls per hour is really high, and if you look at it, it's because 20 souls for 8 hours, 20 divided by 8 is 2.5 souls per hour. You're getting much better value to get 7 souls per hour because 7 times 8 is 56. 1-hour quests have the most value. 4-hour quests have, the second best value, and then 8-hour quests have the third best value, and then 12 and 24 hours are kind of in the same boat. If you're gonna be on for like maybe a little bit and you just want to collect those souls, do a day quest. This is really important for beginners. If you're not going to be playing all day, or it's really challenging, you have to just take a break, then I would do a day quest or maybe 12-hour quests. It's really good to start off with those. It will take time. There won't be a way to just skip it and get it done in like a day and get like 1,000 souls in a day. It will take you a long time. Now, let's move on to gameplay. Faction Wars. The only problem with Faction Wars is it has a difficulty barrier. It's not going to be something that you can just download and start playing instantly and to rake up the good rewards. It's going to take a while. Now, how does Faction Wars work? Well, I didn't show it, but there's a screen here where you select the faction you want. And just know that this is all just words, okay? It doesn't matter which one you choose. Nothing matters when it comes to choosing it. The only time it can sort of matter is if there's a lot more people in one than the other, because then it's going to be harder to push up. And some people would say that, Lin Kuei or Special Forces is better because there's less people. But I've looked at it for most Faction Wars seasons, and the people are pretty high up no matter what faction you choose. So it's just up to whatever you think that has the coolest name. I usually went with Black Dragon when I was a beginner. But yeah, anyways, the next thing is to check out the leaderboards. This is the leaderboards of how many people have these little faction wars points. And the more points you get, the higher up on the leaderboards you'll get. These are real people. These little names here, these are all real people on the Faction Wars leaderboard. But there's something that all beginners should know. You are not going to fight real people in this game. Everything you fight is a bot or an AI. None of it is a real player. That might disappoint you, but it's something to take into consideration. You're never going to fight a real person. But that also means that you can learn the AI. Sometimes the AI can be cheesy. Sometimes the AI can have a cheat or an advantage, which is annoying. But when you're fighting AI, something to take into consideration is that you are going to be fighting real people's presets or teams. So you'll fight people and the teams that they create, but you won't be fighting the actual person. Keep that in mind. Okay, so now that we got that across, what is the best game mode for beginners? Well, Survivor mode is not something I recommend for beginners who just downloaded the game, but if you get your bronze characters up to level 50, which, I mean, you usually can pretty quickly, but once you get them up to level 50, then you should probably get this and go through Survivor mode as much as you can, and just get as high as you can on Survivor mode, but do not spend souls to refresh your characters. Not when you're a beginner. When you're a beginner, do not do this. It'll show your team energy being all the way down, but do not refresh. On the tower as well, when you're a beginner, don't refresh. Just leave it. Leave it to refresh naturally. Unless the tower has a day left and you want to complete Tower 200, you're probably not going to get up there as a beginner right away, so it probably doesn't matter for you in that scenario anyways. Now, I think the best thing for beginners to do is quick play, and when I played this game, that's all there was. There was no Survivor mode. Alright, now we're going to play a game and demonstrate some abilities that you can use with these characters. So we're using a card called Injustice 2 Raiden. It is a diamond card, and I'll tell you where I got it from in a minute, but I want to just do some gameplay to show you how this works. So the swiping, you swipe, okay, there we go. So you swipe right, and then it does this little mini game thing, and then for special attacks you have 3 choices if you upgrade all of them. Now we're gonna use special 2. You can click on special 2, and then there we go. This one is a unblockable attack. Tap with 2 fingers on that special mini game. Tap with 2 fingers at a time, or 3 if you need to really get it fast, but that'll make that circle go up as fast as possible without having to use 1 finger. Okay, and then for Classic Raiden, he is really useful because he applies 20% damage when he just tags in, and if you even have him lower, it'll still do the same 20% to the teammate, even if your Classic Raiden is not highly fused up. Alright, so I'm going to do a special one, and then what you want to do is just swipe left as fast as possible with your finger. Basically, lift it off the phone, of course, and then move it back, and do it over and over and over and over, and kind of like a jitter motion to be able to get that up all the way. That is 2 of some of the mini games you can do. Some of the hardest one would be the circle ones, and I'll show what that looks like, but this one is just a tap in the middle, and it's really easy. You'll come across that when you use some character like Jade or other characters similar to Jade. Alright, now we're going to use SP2, and this is the circle rings. Now you want to get it right there in the center. I didn't press in time, but then you want to use 2 fingers, of course, to tap that little circle.
This discussion is over.
You can see our character did a little victory stance, and I'll get into that in a moment, but I don't want to overwhelm anybody. Alright, and then what's the next thing you want to shoot for when you play Faction Wars? There's a little thing called the Faction Wars store. As a beginner, you won't have any rubies, but I just got some for playing just 1 battle. I got 65 every day. You get points for logging in, opening up cards, and stuff like that. winning challenges in battle mode, relic hunt, or challenge. And this is most important thing to take into consideration. You get 15 rubies for just earning 1,000 points, 25,000, and 50,000. That's just pretty much free points for a beginner. All right, the next thing to take into consideration are the rubies. So you can see we have the rubies here, and you can buy characters here from the store, and you can also buy equipment. What should you start off with first? Well, I would actually ignore the characters first. I would actually go for the equipments. And start off with Bloody Tomahawk. It's a really good equipment. It's very general. It has a chance to drain 33% on Special 2. Bloody Shao Kahn armor is also really good. Devastator and Blaze Life Force, also really good. And Shang Tsung Stone. Those are all pretty good. And just pretty much unlock them all. Maybe go for fusing up, something like the Shao Kahn armor and Bloody Tomahawk and Devastator. Go for maxing those out first. And then focus on some of these other ones like Moloch Ball and Chain. They're okay, but I don't think they're the best. Alright. And then when you want to go for characters, I would go for Classic Scorpion. I wouldn't recommend going for any other characters besides Classic Scorpion because Classic Ermac was nerfed. Basically, he would siphon the health, which means removing health from the characters. No matter what fusion he was, he would remove a lot of their health throughout the entire match, and it was nice, but it's no longer useful for Dark Queen's Tower because it was nerfed and removed. That ability doesn't work on the bosses, which sucks. Now you say, what is the best way to get diamonds? So you got to the point where you have most of your golds maxed. Now what's the best pack to spend on to get diamonds? So for a diamond team, go for the Diamond MK11 pack. Get all these characters to Fusion Level X. This will be your first ever team to get to Fusion Level X. This is the best thing for beginners if you want to get a good team fully maxed. This will take you forever, but it's important to note. Alright, and then what's the next pack to open to just get diamonds? We're not talking about fusing them up to max, just getting diamonds. The best pack to just get diamonds in general is the Elite Netherrealm Elder God. It's not here all the time. It refreshes every 7 days with whatever pack's here, so you need to wait, and that pack is the best one to go for. You get very high chances for diamonds, and I recommend it no matter what if you are a beginner to get diamonds once you get to the point where you are wanting to collect them. And then what's the next best team to get? Well, I would go for Scarlet MK11. Alright, what's the next pack to get for diamonds? Discounts. Discounts are touchy because there have been a lot of 20 limits on a ton of packs, so it's really hard for me to recommend certain packs because with a 20 limit, they're not as good as they could be. Go for discounted packs that don't have limits and have good chances for diamonds, like the Circle Shadows pack and the Renegade pack and whatnot. Now, Feats of Strength. This is not at all something that you need to worry about as a beginner, but it's cool, so I want to show it for beginners. Alright, when you complete up to 750 matches, you'll get victory stances. They're all cosmetic. I know there are some characters where Feats of Strength actually do increase the character's damage, so that's interesting, but for most characters, they're all cosmetic. They do not tie back into the game rather than looking cool. I really don't like the allegiances that much. Alright, and then the next thing are obviously the victory stances. I already showed off one, but you can equip them when you complete a certain number of battles, and then you can also get taunts. This is pretty cool. This is similar to how they act when they see each other in games. And then editing your war banner. Again, this has nothing to do with claiming souls, but this is pretty important as a person who wants to customize their profile as a beginner. Once you get certain feats of strength, you can actually upgrade your banner, and I'll do that. I'll put some stuff on for my banner. Actually, I'm Justice. There you go. And then I will go over to the store, and as a beginner, I will open up the bronze pack. This is pretty much a no-brainer, so I don't usually throw this in very often, but it's a no-brainer. Obviously, you're going to do this. Most people will, but I'll still show it off before I end off this video. But you just open up this daily gift. Oh, it still has 22 minutes. But yeah, open up the daily gift and the bronze pack. I want to know what pack I got these characters from right here. I got these from the Shaolin Heroes, which was discounted, only limited to 20, so it was not likely you're going to get lucky from it. And then I got MK11 Jade from the Diamond MK11 pack. Alright guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace out.